Hello, everybody. It is Thursday. I have some great guests here today. I have Angelo Amato, the nice looking man in the red sweater. I have Andrea Nordquist, the beautiful lady in the white and royal blue. And I also am waiting for Zach Glassman. And there he is. Hello, Zach.
Hey, how's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
We always
Likewise.
show off with some good things. Today is my little niece's birthday,
Oh, wow.
Nicolette.
Aw,
She's 7. Happy birthday! And it
happy
is
birthday, Nicolette.
Susan Pinky, who isn't here today's 44th anniversary with her husband Jimmy.
Oh, wow.
Happy
Very nice.
anniversary! So today is National Irish Coffee Day. Did you know that?
No, I
Did you
did
know
not.
No
Okay.
idea.
I have my Irish coffee.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
Irish people preferred tea, but
January
Coffee.
25th is the actual national day. It is a mug of coffee, whiskey, sugar, and cream. So if you haven't tasted it, make one tonight. It's pretty easy. You can go to Google and get the recipe and celebrate National Coffee Day. I am dating a Irishman, so I know a lot about Irish that I never knew before. But we don't have coffee today, but we have wine. So we're going to have a drink.
Wine.
And
Nice.
unfortunately, you can't have any. Zach,
I'm
sorry.
so jealous now.
Send it
Just give me an hour and a half, and I'll be right there.
Get some
Whoa.
sugary, very
All
bad
good.
thank
snacks
you.
for you. And thank you for coming.
Salute.
Cheers.
Gentani, as the Italians, right?
And
Mm.
Jindan. That's how they say it. So I want to first introduce Andrea.
Thank you.
Andrea is from the Military Blue Star Mothers.
Mhm.
Amazing woman, been through a lot in her life, works with all of the soldiers
Mhm.
in Nassau County
Mhm.
and the mothers of the soldiers and the wives,
Mhm.
correct?
Whole families.
And she's been on before. And I'm so glad to have you back again.
Thank you so much.
We're in our new studio, Strong Island TV. It is absolutely fabulous. If anybody wants to have a party, come down, party on Saturday, let us know, and you will have a blast.
It's an adorable little
Yeah.
place.
What do you think? Isn't it?
Awesome.
You don't
It
know
really
what you're
is.
walking
Character.
into, right?
Yes. So let me, if you don't mind, I'm curious. How did you get into this? I'm
Okay.
so honored to be on with you
Oh.
because I think it's a great. The soldiers are something that's very near and dear to my heart. I've always been very impressed by young soldiers that put their lives on the line, and just how did you get into that?
Well, to be a Blue Star mother, you have to be the mother, grandmother, stepmother of someone that is in the military. Either they're serving now or they have served. So my son Gregory's been in the National Guard now for 17 years.
Wow.
He's been deployed 4 times. So what we do is we help our military and their families because a lot of times they go through a lot of issues and they need
Sure.
help. We support our veterans because Nassau and Suffolk County have the largest veteran population in the whole state. We have a
Wow.
lot of veterans and they're very much in
Wow.
need. So food,
Yes.
clothing, we help with housing, repairs, anything that we're asked of. We honor the fallen, which is something we don't like doing, but we have had to do that. And we also offer support to the moms. It's very difficult sending your 17 and 18-year-old away to the military.
Sure, I
It's
can't imagine.
not like sending
Yeah.
them to college.
No,
It's
I
totally
I would
different.
think, I don't have a son, but if I had a daughter decided to do that, I would be so
Yeah,
sad.
It's
But
tough.
thank God for
worried.
them.
Yeah.
Because someone's
there.
got to do it.
I mean, my son, he's been deployed 4 times now. He's got a wife and 2 kids, and it's very difficult. So this last time he was going to Jordan. I said, "Oh, Jordan is a nice country, and it's much better than some of the other places you've been deployed to." I said, "This is going to be, not bad for the couple of months you're going to be gone." And he left that morning, and that afternoon is when they bombed Israel.
Oh,
So he
goodness.
just missed all that. So he just got
Wow.
home. So nothing is ever really safe or easy or, oh, that's not a bad deployment. They all have their pieces, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world. And we have a lot of moms whose sons and daughters are preparing or have been deployed. And it's tough.
Yes.
I can
imagine.
I know with my son in the Air Force, they're very good. They only go usually for 4 or 5 months. It's not too long. the Army will go for a year. That means they miss
Jeez.
birthdays
Yeah,
and
those
anniversaries
deployments can be
and
so long.
holidays and all of that. So, even my son was only gone for 4.5 months, but he missed his son's birthday, his wife's birthday, first day of school for his little guy. And he's not there. So they go through a lot. So that's why Blue Star Mothers, we do whatever we can to help our military.
So when did Blue Star Mothers begin?
back in the 40s.
Wow, it's a long time.
Yeah, they've been going since they
And how long were you involved?
since 2017. So even though my son was in for a long time, I didn't even know about Blue Star Mothers. I never knew. I knew there was the Blue Star flag, with the little star in the middle, that I could use that. But I really didn't know about Blue Star Mothers. And it wasn't until I saw a parade go by and there's mothers parading and they say they're Blue Star Mothers. I'm like, so I'm running alongside of them, asking them what they are and what they do. The girl was very nice. This girl, Nicole, she told me everything about it. She goes, you have to come join us.
And you
So I
did?
did.
And
I
how
did.
did you become the president?
Yeah, wow.
I know you did a lot of work to become the president. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Somebody needed to step up. And I reached out to some of my friends. I said, listen, I'll step up to be president, but you've got to be there to help me. I
Yeah,
can't
you
do
need a
this by
team.
myself.
Yeah.
It is a team. And right now, so I had a board, we set it up, and I've been there doing it now two and a
That's
half
nice.
years.
And it
Yeah.
takes a village to have a
Yes.
Sure.
family.
It does.
'Cause
It
I
I gotta
does.
tell
myself-
my mom.
Yeah.
Right?
My,
What'd you
my
say?
brother's I gotta tell my mom. My
Yeah.
brother's a U.S. Army soldier. He actually he finishes in August. He just got back from Syria a few months ago.
Oh,
Similar thing. We just got back right before the horrible strikes in Israel, and yeah, my mom I know is pretty involved in our community. Not really, but I had no idea the Blue Star Mothers. I gotta tell her, maybe she'll get
where
involved.
did your mom live? Where do you live?
Rockland County area.
Okay, well, I'm sure they have a
They have-
branch there.
Yep,
Yeah.
they do have, and they can join any branch that they want. It just offers a lot of support, a lot of information. One of the things I find so interesting, I called somebody and asked a question about a sister of a fallen soldier. She needed help with college. So I called this one agency to ask for information. She goes, oh, I'll look into it. She says, but by the way, it's VetMart over in East Meadow, and they give food out to veterans. She goes, we have no meat in our refrigerator. She goes, is there any
Oh,
way you could
okay.
help? So I called one of my moms. I said, okay, go spend a couple, dollars and go buy some chicken and some, chopped meat and go drop it over there. So it's all networking. It's all who you know,
Right.
and then you call somebody, and then they know somebody, and there's a great community out there that we all work
Yeah.
together.
And that's why networking is so important,
Yes.
because of people helping people. And I do believe when you give, you get.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Mhm.
That's life. And
Yeah.
everybody should have that mentality, especially since everything that's going on in this country
Yeah.
right now.
But I sometimes don't think people realize like how much it affects the whole family when someone is, in
Help.
the service and
Right.
they're abroad in different places. And so, this country, we really need to be thankful, not just to the soldiers, but to their families and the sacrifices that they make. So thank you both for doing that.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
grateful is the word of this year.
Yes.
Grateful. It's
Grateful.
a big word. I mean, I never heard it, mentioned as much as it is everywhere in every
Mhm.
Facebook and everything.
Mhm.
So now tell us about the Air Force Association. What is the Rolling Thunder? You're a member of that. It sounds to me like it's a bowling club or something.
Rolling Thunder is a great bunch of gentlemen and women. They're not a motorcycle club. Most of them do ride motorcycles. I'm still waiting to get my ride, but and I would love to buy a motorcycle with I think my boys.
You
kill me.
would?
Oh yeah. Oh, in a
Oh, look
heartbeat.
at her. She's a hot shot.
Oh, my boys would kill me because I made their lives miserable when they had their motorcycles. So,
Oh, because it's dangerous.
but their main concern is to bring home POW MIAs. There's 81,000 still missing across all the wars that we've been
Wow.
through since back.
So what are
whenever.
they hiding? I mean,
It's
what is it?
A lot of them, I'm sure at this point, they're deceased. But every once in a while, they will find remains and
Oh,
do DNA
so they're
testing. They can
past.
find them. Yep. So that's their main agenda. But they also do a lot of fundraising. They help, and they have a new thing called a building project where if you're a veteran and you're in need, you need a new roof, you need a new boiler, you need some new windows, you need some kind of repair. We go around, we get money, and then we're able to help them.
Wow.
That's very nice.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
'cause there's a lot of needy veterans out there that need
Oh
that.
yeah.
So that's what we do. The Air Force Association, I'm also a member of that. We honor Vietnam veterans. We've honored probably about 2,600 of them. We're
All
running-
over or just in Nassau County?
Nassau and Suffolk County, Queens, but we're running out of Vietnam veterans to honor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so what we just started with something new is we honor women in the military.
Oh, that's
And women
great.
are
I
funny
love
because
that.
even though they're very much like, if you see a man and a woman at a veteran affair, at a veteran event, and people go up to the man and say, "Thank you for your service," and meanwhile, he
Yes.
wasn't in the service, the woman was.
Oh,
So they
God.
get under recognized a lot. And so we're
That's
trying to
not
reach out
nice.
to women veterans. And, so we've had 2 ceremonies already where we honor women in the military. So they could either be currently serving or have served.
Very nice.
Nice.
We try.
And when you say
So
women in
important.
the military, I mean, does it have to be a certain type of
Any
code?
branch,
in,
nope.
You know,
The fact that you signed your name on the line that said you're going into the military, any branch, any job, anything, and whether you're serving now or you have served, we will honor you.
I like that idea. Maybe we could do
Yeah.
something together someday for the women.
Yeah, so,
I like promoting women because it takes time for the women to get to that point. It's
Mhm.
still better now,
Mhm,
but it's still not where it should be.
never not there.
And
no.
I can go back to my days being a woman
Mhm.
in a newsroom with 17 men, and
Mhm.
every pitch I made went in the shitter.
Mhm.
You know, it's different now, but
they're
it's
still
still hard.
under-recognized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely is hard. And who would have thought that after losing my job, I could do my own thing and pitch myself?
Mhm.
But again,
Good
it
for
takes
you.
it takes a long time, and it is what it is.
And
you
then
know?
another committee that I'm chairperson of, because this is what happens.
You never sleep.
No. It's called Our Community Salutes. It's a nationwide organization. And we had our very first ceremony last year. And we're going to do it again this year on May 15th at the Nassau County Police Department Training and Intelligence Center.
Oh, Garden
Gorgeous,
City.
beautiful.
Have
Yes.
you ever been there?
No, not to
Oh,
Patrick Ryder is the
You
commissioner.
gotta go there.
What a doll. Brand new building,
Yeah.
gorgeous theater, the whole thing.
Fabulous.
And where we honor. So if there are any high school seniors out there that are going to choose to go in the military rather than college, we have this free ceremony for them and their parents. We have a lot of organizations for the parents to come so that they see what a network is out there for them to support them. And we want to be the first ones to say, thank you for your service to these young men and women, because a lot of them, when they say, "Oh, I'm going in the military," kids are like, "Oh, you're just going in the military? You're not going to college?" No, they're going to
That's
serve
part
our
of the
country.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're going to get training. They're going to see the world. They're going to grow up. They're going to, come out and have a lot of doors
Yes.
open for them. So we are going to have that ceremony May 15th. And so if you're a senior and you're going to go into the military, let your recruiter know. All the recruiters will be told about it. We're reaching out to all the recruiters on Long Island, in Nassau County, and we'll have this free ceremony for you and your parents.
I'd like to come. to
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah, maybe we'll cover it.
Refreshments.
Mhm.
And we have a present for them. We give a little goodie bag to the
That's
parents.
wonderful.
Yes.
It was amazing. We had 50 recruits last year.
It's very hard to find that
Yes.
building.
If
Because
you
I
go-
went there
Oh,
for
yeah.
something,
Yes.
and it took us 25 minutes. We kept going around the circle. and
Go
the
from
circle.
Merrick Avenue. If you drive
Yeah.
down Merrick Avenue and right before you hit Front Street, you make a right and then you make another right and you're right there. Like
Well,
you can
it
see
is-
it from Merrick
It
Avenue.
is an amazing building,
Yes.
and this is where all the police officers train.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Wow.
Patrick
And they
Ryder
do-
led
wow.
the building.
Yeah,
And Pat,
It's a
he's
significant.
Yeah,
it's a gorgeous building.
you should tell your brother about that.
I really should. He's going to be coming back in August around the area, so he'll definitely love to
It's
check it
a
out.
beautiful building.
Yeah.
Your mother would probably love it too.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll come.
I knew.
There
Who
you go.
knows?
And then if you come, you can come back and see us here at the show.
That would be wonderful.
So now I understand we have a little slide. You have something coming up.
Yes, we have an event coming up. With everything going on in the world, we thought we needed to do something fun. So we're going to have a comedy night at Governor's.
Oh,
They-
great,
They
great.
provide a great opportunity. It's $20 for general admission. It's $15 for veterans. And it's just going to be a fun night of comedians, socializing, and again, a fun thing. It's
Comedians, they have
Yes.
like good
I've been to
drinks.
Governor's Club. Great place.
Yeah, I was
Great
there.
place,
I used
yeah.
to work there, believe it or not, many years
Really?
ago.
Wow.
That's where I started at Governor's
Oh, wow.
just
when
for
I
fun.
had just lost
Yeah.
everything,
Mhm.
Wow.
and I started to laugh, and
Mhm.
that's how I started there. And I have a lot of friends from there, and 3 of the people from there are here with me now.
Oh,
And I came here because of Michelle. She is a friend that I did with comedy with over at Governor's.
Mhm.
So not comedy anymore. Now I'm serious, but I could be funny too. So how do they get in touch with you to get the tickets, and what do they do?
You can go on Facebook. It's Military Blue Star Mothers New York 14. You can go on our website, which is bluestarmothersnewyork14.org, and you can call me. I'll give out my email. It's president.ny14@bluestarmothers.us. And, you can just let us know. We have Venmo, and, we'd love to have you come. Let us know. If you're not sure and you just show up that night, just tell them that you're there for Blue Star Mothers.
Right,
and
you could always walk in the last minute,
Yes.
unless it's over.
We'll have somebody at the
Do you
door.
have any idea yet who's going to be the comedian, or no?
No, not yet.
You never know till the end.
Right. We
Yeah.
don't really care.
It's
We just
exciting though, you just never know who it's going to be.
And sometimes they have some guest comedians, like, famous names that
Yes,
just kind
the
of
bigger
show
ones.
up.
Yep.
Um,
mhm.
But if not, it's just going to be a fun night where we can just all kind of hang out, have a
Yeah.
couple of
Yeah,
drinks.
and if you boo-hoo or sit in the front, they're going to pick on you, so you have to be
Okay.
careful.
I'll stay in the back.
Never go to a comedian sit up front.
No, I'm going to
Yeah.
sit
you're
way in
asking
the
for
back.
abuse.
Yeah.
No, but it is a lot of fun. I've done a few things there with David Gusson,
Yeah.
and he has a great opportunity for everybody. Always. Did you ever meet up with David?
No.
I thought you were going to go to 516 ads.
I
You never got there.
never got there. It's just like when you said you're having your grand opening and I'm going to be away that day. It's like
Right.
everything always seems to happen
It's
on the
hard.
same
Well, when you
days.
do as much as you do,
It's-
it's what happens.
Mhm.
I mean, it happens to me too. I
Yeah.
mean, please. Today I got a ride here, and somebody's going to pick me up because there was like a confusion at the house with stuff, and so I went to the pizzeria next door, which is great, and they're naming a piece of pizza after me.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's so nice.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Valentina.
Oh, how
That's a catchy
exciting.
name for a pizza. What's
But-
going to be on?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. I want to know the toppings.
Yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing is I knew him years ago because when I wrote my book in Love and Friendship, I was here at the studio with my publisher who was here for 2 years. So it's all about connection. So I walked in, I go, "Do you remember me?" He goes, "You look familiar." And we started talking, and we had a Newsday article written about the books, and we did the interview in his pizzeria. So it all came back to him. He goes, "You know,
Wow.
I'm going to name a pizza after you." I'm like, "Well, let's do it. I'm next door now."
Wow.
So he had told me he'll come on the show soon. But the pizza there is great. It's right next to the studio. So I'll have more information next time. So this is great. Everyone, you should go to the event. If you want to be with the Breakfast Club, you can let me know. We always, when we go to things, we go in groups.
Mhm.
We just have this enigma where people draw to us, and it's life. That's what it is with us. I don't know why. But yes, on Thursday, February 8th, we're having our grand opening here. This is our soft opening because we started, but we're having a little party in the afternoon at 3:00, and we're going to have a little grand opening, and we're having a Valentine's show. So if anybody has a single lady or a single man that want to be on the show, I'm looking for a few singles or a love couple. That's what I'm looking for. So tell your friends and have them call me.
Mhm.
It's going to be a big day on February 8th here. So on the next note, you've already met this wonderful man,
Yes.
and his name is Angelo Amato, and his friend who is on today, he is also you sound like a very happy actor, voiceover, whatever else you do. Zach
He looks very
Glassman.
professional over
And
there.
I
in the
like the
studio.
name,
Yeah,
Zach
yeah,
Glassman.
Yes,
It
catchy.
has a ring to it.
It
Yes,
does.
it
It's
is.
like, I don't know, like maybe you'd be in Suits or something, that show. And then your voice,
Yeah.
your voice is just so tricky. I love it. You should be on radio because
Mhm.
I guess
Especially
you
with
are.
that
Yeah,
microphone.
And I like
Exactly. Well,
because I like Men in Black.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. So we're
great
going to
movie
talk.
series.
We're going to have Angelo talk. I'm so happy that I met you.
Very
And
nice
since
meeting
I
you
met you,
also.
it's about 3 months.
Yes.
He
yes.
taught me how to do interviews on the phone. The only man that made me do it.
Wow.
Well, it's not that hard. I'm not very tech savvy.
Yeah,
so-
but I had to go buy one of those things. I'm like, never, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Well,
but she did it.
He
did?
taught me
He
on
did
the
it.
phone.
Wow.
So he's an angel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about, first of all, the movie that I loved. I saw it.
Thank you.
We're
thank
going
you.
to show a little track of it.
Oh, thank you.
and let's just talk about, everything. I'm into movies because I'm in the
Yes.
Fontanas.
I know, so
Yes.
exciting.
And
And-
I saw you on the Fontanas, and I thought you were excellent. As
Thank
you
you.
know, you did catch my attention.
Yeah, I know. That's why you called me.
Yes.
Imagine a different movie guy called me. I was
Yes.
so
Wow.
excited
Yes.
to have another drink for that.
Yes.
So
I
let's
think I have
talk.
4 left. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You take over here now.
Okay, so I mean, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I originally from Howard Beach, Queens, which as an Italian American, I don't think that's too surprising. I don't
No,
want to be
no.
stereotyped, but my parents moved us out to Western Nassau County to West Hempstead when I was about 7 years old. So I grew up there, graduated from West Hempstead High School, which I'm very proud of because that's a
It is.
great
That's where
school.
I
It was
lived
a
there
great
27
school.
years.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, it's just a great neighborhood. And just as a kid, I was always interested in films. Since really I was a young age, I was probably watching movies I probably shouldn't have been watching, but my parents, I don't know where they were at that time. But
Well,
so
we all did
yeah.
that.
but so I guess this, anyone who's into acting, I guess, would say the same thing. You just see certain performances, you see certain films, and the best word that I would use is just like captivation. To be truly, I have a bit of a scatterbrain, so there are a few things that I really captures my attention, and as a young kid, films and actors really did. And so I started acting in junior high.
Did you?
Yes. First part I ever played was in 8th grade. I played Kaniki in Greece.
Okay.
I love
And,
that show.
Yeah, and it was just so much fun to do that. And so throughout high school, we did like South Pacific and
You did a lot.
Oklahoma, and then in college, I was fortunate enough to play Stanley Kowalski with the part that Brando played in The Streetcar Named Desire,
Oh,
which was
nice.
just like a great part to play. And I would say at that time, the biggest experience I had was that I auditioned once for The Sopranos.
Well, that's great. We met a
Yeah.
few of them actually
Wow.
recently,
Well,
and we're hoping one of them joins our new Fontanas crew.
okay.
So
Well,
now, how did you?
for me, when I went in there, the casting director went, "That was really good,
But there's always a
not
but.
for that part. I'm gonna hang on to your headshot," but
Okay.
it didn't happen. So I wound up actually going in a different direction and leaving acting altogether for a while.
Mhm.
And then years go by. I have a beautiful family and beautiful children, and social media comes out.
Yeah,
and,
it's big now.
all these new things that when I was younger wasn't there.
Exactly.
Like you have like now even online, like backstage, like
Yes.
when I graduated from college, backstage, the only way you could get it which is, by the way, for the people who don't know, is like
Phone
a
call, right?
it's a
Yeah,
magazine
exactly.
that you could only get in the city
Right.
at these at newsstands. But now everything is, you subscribe online kind
Mhm.
of thing, and you do auditions.
They just make it
that
so
way,
easy now.
Mm.
Is
Right.
it easy
So
for you,
easy to
Zach?
get.
No?
Definitely not. I mean, it's easier. It's easier.
Never easy
But
for
I-
an actor, right? Never
It's never easy. But like you're saying, like I feel like everybody has that moment that you're a bit like you're getting out, and they pull you back in. That classic Godfather
Right.
quote. It just always brings you back, and I think that there's this just magical quality.
It is.
to
It
it.
kind of just gets you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
You're bitten by the bug.
Yeah.
So now you're doing voiceovers. So how did you get into that? From the acting?
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up absolutely loving Disney cartoons and
Oh.
musicals. I used to watch like Singing in the Rain and lots of stuff like that. But really, voiceover was something that captivated me so much. I just love animation, and so that's really kind of the route that my career is starting to go, is more into voiceover. So as you can see, I have my wonderful mic set up here, and it kind of just came up to me. I had a bunch of friends who were into the voiceover scene and doing a lot of speak of like new ways of connecting and
Yes.
new opportunities.
Uh-huh.
Podcasts have become massive,
I
and
know.
not even just podcasts, audio dramas.
Mhm.
And so I started doing a lot of audio drama work, really over the pandemic, because we were pushed inside. So I was like, I'm not gonna stop doing anything. I bit by the bug. I mean, I'm constantly always trying to work, trying to find new ways to develop. So I started doing much more audio dramas, and it's so cool because you get to do. It's not just like you're cast as this role. That's what you're doing for X amount of seasons. You could be 10, 20 different characters. I've played on the same show, and so that versatility, challenging yourself to bring those.
So
So
now,
that's
what
a
is
lot of fun.
Casa Del Monte about, and what is? I love this one. Worst day ever. What is
Yeah.
that about?
So Casa del Monte was a film that my friend Brett Goldberg wrote. He was a fellow member of the Actor Studio Drama School as a playwright, and he came up to me. I was actually I had, when I sent you those two projects, there was no connection, but funny enough, he contacted me while I was filming The Worst Day Ever in New York, and I was
Okay.
staying at my friend's apartment in Fidei. And he calls me up and he's like, hey, like I have a script about this quirky guy who owns a car dealership, but like kind of different. Do you want to direct it? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's this quirky comedy. I'm a huge comedian. I just love what comedy can bring to a piece. Even for dramatic pieces, I always try to add a little bit of a comedic touch to my characters. And I ended up directing this one shot. So it's 11 minutes, continuously rolling one take. And we submitted it to film festivals and stuff. I did everything myself for it. Besides, I was the crew producer. I ended up being the audio engineer because someone dropped out.
So that's a one-man band there.
Yeah.
You were a one-man
Yeah,
band.
exactly. I learned so much from that. That was a couple of years ago, and unfortunately didn't get picked up at any festivals. We did get to the final round of a lot of places,
Oh, that
but
means
a lot. Unfortunately, though, for a lot of these film festivals that are smaller, they only bring in the winners to kind of
Yeah.
like be like, oh, this is who won. But it was cool to be like finalists for a lot of them.
Absolutely.
But
Now, the worst day ever. What is that about? People,
So-
you, one person.
So Worst Day Ever was a short. It's about 35 minutes long, now available on Tubi. And essentially, I play a white lawyer who's married to a transgender Black woman. And it revolves around a similar shooting to like the George Floyd shooting, where this innocent child is shot and killed. And I'm so enveloped in this case that I have that I kind of don't see that that my girlfriend, fiance is really torn up about this. And it's kind of a story. It goes towards more of a comedic route because there's like a lot of like slapstick moments that happen. But at the essence of the story, it's really about like relationships and relating to people that you might not understand, and being able to take what you've learned and to grow from it. So it's a really nice tale that touches on a lot of serious subjects, but also does it in a way that there's kind of some funny moments. Like it's called The Worst Day Ever because I have literally my worst day ever. My car gets towed, things like that, and I'm like, oh,
Everything
like,
happens at once.
know, yeah. And then it's like the perspective of those things happening to me to the serious subjects. So then it's like, was it really the worst day ever? Like, it could have been a lot worse.
Zach, that project you directed, was it the first time you've ever directed?
That was the first time I ever directed for film. I mean, professionally, it was unbelievable. I mean, I got really scarred from it a little bit because I was doing a lot of stuff on it, but I learned so much. And to be honest, I think I'm going to be directing more in 2024.
Well, that's what it is. Step out of your comfort zone. You keep learning.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Angela, let's talk about coming home. I think we have some pictures that we can show, right?
Yes, I
Yes.
sent them and I did.
Okay, so we're going to look at some
so-
pictures now, but how did this happen?
Well, for a long time, I didn't really write, but I've been kind
There
of
he
getting
is.
more and more into writing as of late. I've written some short screenplays. Now I've actually just finished my second full feature that I'm working on trying to get that started.
Okay.
So
there he is. There's
yeah.
Zach.
So if there,
Wow.
by the way, if there's anyone who wants to invest in a film and they want to reach out, feel free.
Absolutely. Yes.
But sometimes I get these kinds of ideas. They just come to me, and it might just be, I get a kind of image.
Right.
Sometimes it might be just a single scene. And for me, this story was, I got this kind of image of these two brothers. And maybe it might be because I myself am one of three brothers, and just the whole family dynamics. And I had this kind of idea of these two brothers kind of having a kind of conflict and having it out about their childhood kind of thing.
Mhm.
And from there, I had this kind of idea of, well, what if one of the brothers is coming home and he has been kind of like outcast kind of,
Yeah.
and it's a kind of prodigal son kind of story coming back home. And I even managed to get that line into the dialogue. And, I've always found these kind of family stories and, the dynamics of the relationships between siblings and parents to be kind of interesting. So I really wanted to get into that. And so in this story here, what it's really about is a father suddenly dies, and it's about the family grappling with
The
that.
dynamic.
Yes.
Sometimes it's negative.
Yes.
Yes.
And the story starts off where Zach is playing my brother Robert, and Zach is playing the younger brother, who's basically he's outcast because he was always having difficulty getting along, especially with his father who owned a small business. And so he left home, and now he's come back, and he shows up at the house, and he's like an hour late for the funeral.
Oh,
So-
Zach.
Oh.
Yes.
You are
So-
brat.
I,
Yeah.
I couldn't catch the bus.
So we have this kind of, we have it out because I'm I'm the older brother who's has issues of my own, but is disappointed and really annoyed at my brother for missing our parents' funeral.
Sure.
In addition to this, he's actually my half brother because he's the product of a second marriage.
Okay.
And there's also a half sister, and she's off with the mother, and she's kind of questioning who her father was, because she's always kind of had this sense that her father was having an affair on her mother, and so she's really struggling with that as well. And at the end, we all kind of come together, and without giving everything away, I just we come to terms with what's happened, and I think it kind of ends off on a hopeful note. Anyone who wants to see it, you can see it by you can just simply YouTube Coming Home in Angelo Amato Film. You do have to write Coming Home in Angelo Amato Film, and it does come up. And there's also a behind the scenes that will come up as well, which is only about 5 or so minutes long, where all of us kind of speak a little bit about the characters and the story. So you have myself, Zach Glassman, and also the two actresses were wonderful. Julia Kane and Sarah Marie Miller were also, I thought, phenomenal. And I spent a lot of time seeing a lot of auditions.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I just thought Zach was phenomenal. And when we shot that film, especially that scene in the interior inside the living room, it just kind of, it felt so right. I felt that we were both really, in the moment, and I hope people
Oh,
enjoy
you gotta
it.
love
Yeah.
it. I've seen it once. I'm gonna watch it again tonight.
Thank you.
Julia is the older sister.
Julia she's really the baby sister, and then Sarah Marie Miller plays our stepmother, actually.
Oh,
But
the one
she's-
with the long hair.
Well, they both kind of have long hair.
Oh, well,
but-
one looks older than the other.
One is older than the other.
Sarah's the
Sarah
older one.
Marie is older, but it's supposed to be like our father. When he remarried, he married a younger woman.
Okay, well,
Yes.
she looks very good too. The both of
Yes.
them, even the
Yes.
younger girls. I thought it was great. It
Thank
had a
you.
lot. As an Italian,
Mhm.
you can really
Yes.
relate. And as a loss, I've
Yes.
had a few losses.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Losses,
Oh.
things happen.
Mhm.
And families change for a
yes.
while. I remember when my baby sister passed, we didn't speak for a year. We
Oh.
got together. We just all sat at a table and looked at each other because
Yeah.
she was the matriarch. My sister Maria was
Gotcha.
the matriarch, and she's in my book.
Right.
And
right.
we didn't really have fun for a year, but we were there every Sunday.
Mhm.
Yes.
And death changes
Very
everything
difficult.
with the family.
Mhm.
You know, and then if I could say also that I thought it was important to sometimes you want to tell a story about an Italian American family that is, you know, a lot of times we're very depicted in these mafia movies.
yeah,
and all
that's true.
that. And you know, I'm not saying I don't. I mean, I've watched those movies.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, I enjoy those movies, and there's room for
I
everything.
love those movies.
But that, you know, the overwhelming majority of Italian Americans, that's not who or what we are, you know.
right,
and the
exactly. Mafia
family-
is a separate thing.
Yes.
But
And
one thing I learned about
Good.
mafia is they're very nice.
I'm not going
Must be
there.
nice.
I'm not going there.
I've never had any problems. Okay, it's not
Well,
that
it's very
I
interesting.
I
you
know.
know,
I see them in certain delis and in
Right,
certain
right.
places, and they're very respectful. God knows what happens when I'm not around, but
But the story sounds like it's something that a lot of different people could relate to.
oh,
even if not the
definitely.
whole thing.
You
but
don't even have to be
parts
Thank you.
of
Italian,
it,
Thank you.
right?
a person, a different character. So this is going to be, it's going to touch someone.
Thank you
So,
very much.
Yeah,
Sounds like an
definitely.
interesting
So, can
story.
we see a clip of
Yeah.
the movie because that's when you really want to watch it more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're going to see a clip now. Very
Great.
proud of it, really. You got to be so
Thank you.
Yes.
proud of it. I mean, this is your second, right?
Well, this is my first time directing.
Okay.
First time directing a film. Yes.
Hey, Clay decided to stop by.
Mom, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
He used to beat us, Matt.
What question?
I'm not a little girl anymore. I need to know the kind of man Dad was.
I had plans of my own!
Funny that you say that because the writer of that music, she was actually an Argentinian composer.
Really?
And yes, and I see in some ways certain things have gotten a lot easier, but I winded up finding her like through social media, and I just overheard her music, and I contacted her, and I was just like, you know, do you have anything? I have this story, and she didn't write it, or she didn't write it just for this film. She had it, but her name is Michaela Carbolo.
Mhm.
And so she sent it to me, and again, it wasn't originally written for this, but she allowed me to use it, and I was just so grateful because I just felt like it just really fit the vision
Absolutely.
that I had for it. And so when we completed it, I wound up submitting it to festivals, and it was a quarterfinalist at the Big Apple Film Festival. Which
Right.
is,
And we have an article about
Mhm.
that
Oh.
too.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
we can show that article, that would
Yes.
be great. But
um,
you know, what possibly opportunities have changed? Like, in other words, from what you were doing before, which was acting, I
Right.
guess, then you started to write, right? And then
Yes.
direct. So now,
right.
where are you now? I mean, obviously you're making movies.
Well, that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. You know, when you, I feel like, and I see that you do this. You know, you're interested in
Everything.
different things. Yes, and you
It's an illness.
right. But isn't it one of the great things about sometimes when you're you know, there are certain advantages I think in life to as the years go by and you start to get a little older, you look at things a little differently.
Yes.
And you know, you start to explore more and say, well, why not try this? Why
Exactly.
not try that?
Mhm.
And
You never know.
the big thing is that I think you have to throw yourself in. You can't be
You can't be half in and half out.
and you can't be afraid of how things are going to come across. If there's something in your heart, you want to do it, and you want to try to do it, whether it's painting
You
or
do it.
writing, and
Yeah.
you just do it.
And the
That's
worst
it.
that can
I mean,
happen is
you
shame
flop,
on you.
right?
You know,
I mean,
that's the way I
But you
look
don't
at it.
know unless you try.
Yes.
You have to try.
But you don't get that way until you're older.
Yeah.
Well, you're younger
Yes.
than me, or you go through a crisis.
Right.
And that's what happened to me. I went through crisis. I lost 2 jobs. I was the most popular fired woman on Long Island, you know, and I made a career out of it.
Mhm.
But again, the books happened because of things
Yes.
that happened to me, and they're true stories.
And let me ask you this: would you agree that sometimes when you try something, even if it doesn't go well and it's a flop, if you can, it's almost like you have to learn to accept
The
a
flop.
failure. You have to learn to accept
And-
it
and
and get
improve from
past
it.
it,
Right,
and
exactly.
just say, okay, but I'm going to keep on going. I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep on
because
going.
the flop could be maybe in the financial
Mhm.
part, but not in what you
Yeah.
did. Because
Yes.
for me, nothing was a flop except, you know,
But you
making
know,
it money, making a lot of money. But that's okay.
when you go back and you look at your life, you probably remember your disappointments and your losses more than you do. Like I know my daughter ran track for years, and if you asked her to tell about some of her races, she'll tell you about all the ones that she missed by like
Right.
0.2 of a second. She'll tell you all those things, not the times that she won first place or
Right.
whatever. And even my sons, like they'll remember something that they did that, you know, and you just never know, even if it is a loss or it doesn't go well or whatever, you learn so much from that
Absolutely.
that it does improve as you go on. And
Yes.
so you have to try. And, you know, there's always those stories about Lincoln, like how many times he lost elections
Yes.
before he became one of the best presidents we ever had.
Exactly.
He wouldn't have been that really good president if he hadn't had that road behind him. All the failures that some of your inventors and all the
Yes.
mistakes that they made and the things that didn't go right, it makes who
Yes.
they are and it makes them a better
It
person.
does, and you
So-
learn more. And
Mhm.
even like, you know, I always say they only remember the shit.
Yep.
People
Right.
remember the shit,
Yep.
even if you're on a job
Yep.
and you're
Yes.
getting your review.
Yeah.
Well, they're only going to remember the bad stuff,
Yeah.
not the good stuff. So as the person, you have to write the good stuff. Keep your own portfolio. I did this, I did this, I
Mhm.
did this. Many people don't do that. So then when you go on an interview, you don't have it in front of you. You forget. But again, that could turn against you too if you know too
Yes.
much.
Mhm.
Guess what? It goes right here. in
But
the
how
garbage.
how exciting must be like when you saw that film title and then your name underneath that. I
Oh,
mean,
You gotta be, I would have been
it-
drinking.
In all honesty, when we started to do this, I think the most interesting thing is that when you look back on something is that every step of the way I questioned, you question yourself, you
Yes.
question and whether or not this is really gonna
Well,
come
you
to
always
completion.
do that. But
There
you're a
were-
director.
There were times even when I, you know, because I was doing editing where I was concerned that I didn't have all the pieces I needed to make this
Mhm.
work. And, you know, thank God I was able to do it. But
Absolutely.
the point I think goes back to, you just have to throw yourself in when there's something that you're
Right.
interested in, you want to do it, you know, you have
Right.
to try. And what you were saying, that winds up then creating
The next
other
step.
opportunities.
So the
You say,
article that
you
you
know,
were in, what was that? Where was that? What paper? 'Cause I
Okay,
don't
so
think you
yes,
have it.
the Queen's Examiner.
And it was a 2-page
yes.
spread. I saw it.
Yes, someone contacted me, and you know, they asked to do a story. So and I was very happy with the way it came out. So
It was
we were a
beautiful
cover story in the
article.
Queen's Examiner, and then I winded up. I was invited to show the film at the Columbus Citizen Foundation,
Which is an amazing thing.
yeah, it's so beautiful.
That
If you've ever
foundation
been in
is
there, it
fabulous.
is beautiful. And then I was
Wow.
invited to talk about it on the Joe Piscopo radio show.
Who's a very nice
Yeah.
guy.
I have to
Yes.
explain to the younger people. I'm like, do you ever hear Joe? They have no idea
Yeah.
Joe.
No,
Piscopo.
no, but it's a
And
good
I'm like,
show.
I remember you brought him up to me and I was like, the name sounds so familiar. And then I was like,
know.
oh
You're
yeah.
young.
Oh,
Yeah.
Zach,
he
you're
was
too
a
young.
regular
Yeah.
on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I always tell people it's like a lost classic. If you want to see a lost classic from the 80s, is go see, there's a film called Wise Guys.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw
Joe
it.
Piscopo and
Yep.
Danny DeVito. It
Yes,
is
it's great.
so
So-
funny.
Yeah,
It's
that
so
was a
great.
good
funny.
one.
That's
It's
true.
about
I just
like
saw
these-
Danny on Broadway. He's just
Oh,
what
I
a
want
what
to
a
go see
talent.
that. Yeah, I want to go see
You
that.
got to see it.
was-
I cried like 6 times during it.
Oh,
You
It's
cried?
just-
Really? Why did you
Oh
cry?
yeah,
Like, you have a problem with hoarding?
yeah. No, so yeah, exactly. I just resonated with it so much. I was like, don't throw out the board games, please.
That's funny.
It reminded me of my grandma's house, and she
Oh,
wasn't really
yeah.
a hoarder, but it was a very small house, and
Yeah.
just
That's
seeing the carpet
really
and
something,
seeing the
babe.
things on the wall. It was it, and if you see it, it might be, this might be the last week that he's doing it with his daughter, but
Oh.
his daughter plays his daughter in I Need That, and it is just, the dynamic is so
I wanna
wonderful
go
to
see
see,
that.
and he is just electric, really, really amazing.
Well, in that
And
film,
one of my favorite writers as well, Teresa
Oh.
Rybeck, wrote the piece as
Okay.
well. She's just a tour de force.
Well,
I'm
you
sorry,
know,
go ahead.
Angelo, you know, what do you feel like? What is the most difficult part about what's going on today in this industry? And, you know, where do you envision filmmaking going because of everything that happened with the strike and everything else? I mean,
I just
I don't know how to answer
Yeah.
that question because I'm not in it long enough, but I
Right.
see it and I see what's going on. And I have a lot of friends that are actors and actresses.
Right.
I don't consider myself that yet, but I tell you, I learned a lot from my director and
Mhm.
hope to learn a lot from other directors.
I would just say for me, the biggest thing that I'm concerned about looking into the future with film is, like, you know, you see like AI and all of this, you know, there's room for everything in film, but I hope that we don't lose that, you know, I've heard Martin Scorsese speak about this, you know, the concept of the, you know, the 2 hour, you know, dramatic, cinematic experience, that is a story that is, you know, between people,
Right.
and relationships between people, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Mhm.
Because, you know, to me personally, that's always been my favorite kind of film. And I just, you know, sometimes looking at kids today, the you know, the social media and all that, it's a great tool, but I sometimes get concerned that we're losing something, that we're
Well,
losing our
definitely.
A human
humanity,
touch. Yep.
you know.
Definitely.
And,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's it. I hope we continue making, you know, filmmakers continue to make good stories at any level.
Well,
I've
rumor
been
has
talking.
it that you love what's his name? Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Gene Hackman, Jack Nicholson.
Well,
The
those were the greats when I was a kid
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so your father owned a luncheonette on Myrtle Avenue. I probably went to it.
Originally, yes. And
I
then
might have gone
eventually,
to it in Glendale.
really?
Is it in Glendale?
Yes, it was in
That's where
Glendale,
my
yes.
husband's family grew up.
Oh,
So we used
wow.
to go to luncheonettes over
Okay.
there. And Howard Beach, you won't believe this, but I'm Italian. No one has taken me to Howard Beach yet for dinner.
Oh wow,
No,
something you have to do. It's
I
on your
want
bucket
to
list.
do it because that's someplace I never gone.
Mhm.
So my boyfriend said he's going to do that
Okay.
for me.
Excellent.
But it has its own backstory. Your show, you know, you're coming home. It's just.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
loved
that.
it. I definitely, you know, got into it. And you're.
Oh, and Zach did this. He did the poster.
Yeah, I love
Aw,
the
nice.
poster,
The
Zach.
poster.
Very nice.
Oh, yes, I did do the poster. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also am a graphic designer as well as an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a story that really is just like a slice of life, you
Mhm.
know,
Thanks.
slice of life. It is.
Yeah, that everybody
So
can
what's
relate to.
happening soon? Nothing yet? Are you
Well,
working on something?
I am continuously auditioning,
Okay.
which, as we were saying, nothing is ever easy for actors. But you know, you today you can do it in your own home. You know, I think most
Yes.
people who want to be actors, they have in their basement or somewhere, they have like their own little studio, and you can do your self-tape auditions and send
Right,
those in.
which I
So-
learned how to do because of you.
Yeah. So I do that, but I also have just recently finished writing a full feature screenplay, and so that's
So
what
it's
I
in the
want to work on.
making.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail
I
about it
understand that.
just yet, but
Sounds
Working
it's
on that.
going to be something
Working on
like a
that.
family kind of thing, or
it's a story about a person's struggles.
okay,
Yeah.
struggles.
I
So
wanna- I wanna
we
go-
all
don't
have
we
them.
all have struggles?
Yeah.
Oh, we all have struggles.
So many
Absolutely.
struggles. It's
Mhm.
unbelievable.
Mhm.
So what do you got there? I see
So,
stars.
Yes, I have something. For,
Yeah.
I have something for you. I'll give you also
Oh,
one,
wow.
and definitely for Zach for his mom. I had done an honor flight where I went and I was a chaperone for a veteran that went down to Washington D.C. for the day, and they get to see all the monuments and the memorials.
Really?
It's a wonderful thing. It's honor flight Long Island. They used to
Honor
take
flight.
they used to take World War II veterans, then they did Korean War veterans. We're running out of those, of course. Now they're up to Vietnam era veterans.
Wow.
So we go down to Washington, D.C. for the day, and every veteran gets a guardian. So I was a guardian. And they gave these out, and I thought this was such a phenomenal idea. And what we do is we get flags that can't be flown anymore. You know, they're ripped, they're tattered, they can't be flown, and they have to be retired properly. It has to be a whole ceremony. They're burnt and the whole thing. So what we do is we cut out the blue section and we put this little poem. It says, "I am part of the American flag that has flown over the United States. I can no longer fly. The sun and wind have caused me to become tattered and torn. Please carry me as a reminder of our great nation and to all those who have served and who have served our nation."
Beautiful.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
we give
Oh,
these
that's-
out.
that's
I will
so
tell you,
beautiful.
I go up to veterans. You'll see somebody like in
Special.
Walmart
Yeah.
or Home Depot, and they've got the little veteran hat on. I'll go up and I'll say, "Thank you for your service." And if it's a Vietnam veteran, we always say, "Welcome home," because they were
Yeah.
not
How
welcome
nice
home.
is
Yes.
that?
And
Hello.
the response I get, sometimes I'll get
Hey,
tears.
Bobby, how you doing?
I'll get veterans like giving me the whole entire life story.
Great.
So
How you
we've
doing?
given out a couple of thousand of these. So I have one for you.
Thank you.
Definitely one
And
for
if
you.
you
Oh,
hold
thank you
it,
so
And
much.
Zach, I have
Zach,
one for you.
one for you too. See
Yes,
that?
definitely.
Oh,
I
that's,
guess maybe
that's
you gotta
wonderful.
mail it to him,
Yes.
right? Will
Yeah.
you
Right,
mail
so
it
you
to
can give
him?
that one to Zach.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That
And you
was
keep
really
it in your
sweet.
pocket,
Yes.
and you know
Yes.
because there are so many of our young men and women that are not
Yes.
home,
Right.
and we keep those in our
And it's a
pockets.
good,
Remember,
good luck charm
Yes.
to put in your
Yeah.
pocket.
And you know, I think you made an excellent point about the Vietnam soldiers because
Mhm.
it's a very known thing that people talk about how when World War II ended and it ending in victory and the soldiers came
Mhm.
home, they had big parades,
parades
and everything.
and celebrations,
And the
and
Vietnam soldiers were really not treated well.
no, not at all.
treated well, and really that was
I
shameful.
love this.
That was
Thank you for. I
Yeah.
have
You
someone
know.
in mind that I want to.
We
that I
give
want to
those
give
out,
it to.
But we probably I have
But
a.
I'll keep it in my
We
pocket for good
have
luck.
one lady, one of my moms, that just sits there and cuts out circles for us
That's
constantly.
wonderful.
We've given out probably a couple thousand already.
Wow,
So, and
that's
we will keep
terrific.
going. So
Very, very nice.
Yes.
I actually, you know how people do kind things. I say every day, somebody out there do something kind for
Mhm.
someone. So it happened to
Yes.
me. I was at a restaurant and I had been this girl's 50th birthday party, and now she had a 70th. I hadn't seen the people in a long time. So she says, "I have something for you." I said, "What?" She said, "I got a Valentina pocketbook. It's a designer pocketbook.
Mhm.
And I got this thing, it's like a keychain on it. And I didn't know what to do with it. So I saved it for you." I said, "You saved it for 20 years?" She said, "Yeah." And she gave it to me. It was gold.
Ooh.
And I said, "This is like amazing. I'm putting it in as a good luck charm in my pocketbook." So again, everybody do something kind for somebody. It could be 50 cents. It could be a flower. It could just be saying something nice. In this economy, what we're dealing with,
Mhm.
people need love, attention, and happiness.
You'd be surprised a lot of times. You just saying something nice to
Mhm.
someone
Right.
can really.
letting somebody
You
go
never
in
know
there.
what people are going through.
Yeah.
So-
That, that can make their day, their life.
Yeah,
They might be having their worst day ever.
Yes.
right.
Well,
So
Where's that the title? Worst
Yeah,
day.
worst
And
day
worst
ever.
day
Good. I like the plug. I like the plug.
Zach, thank you for writing in and calling in.
Yes.
Yes.
Angelo, have
Thank
they
you so
reached
much
out
for
to
having me.
talk to you about your films?
Wow. You could just, if you want, you can email me. It's Angelo Amato, straight through, 21@yahoo.com.
Okay.
Facebook? Yes, you could also find me on Facebook. If you look up my name, you can find me there again.
Okay. And don't
Yeah.
forget, Coming Home.
Yes.
Go to the YouTube.
YouTube, Coming Home, and
And
Angelo
check out
Amato.
the film.
And you'll see Zach is awesome.
And Zach,
Yep.
you're a
Yes.
hero. You're a
Yes.
hero.
Yep. And March 3rd, Governors, would love to have you there with us and just have a good night of laughing and
And your
camaraderie.
website?
My website is Blue Star Mothers, ny14.org for our website, and Military Blue Star Mothers, New York 14 on Facebook.
Okay, guys. That's a wrap.